My mother and father were having such a good time. They went to parties. My mother had a pink dress with fringe. It wasn't until some journalist came up with Depression Child that oh hey, I was one of them. You know, really? I never felt that we were depressed. We darned stockings and all that, but that wasn't because of the depression. We did that because we were thrifty.
When you started out, there were some rules for women teachers
yes.
that don't exist anymore. Can you
No.
talk about those rules?
Well, actually, they prevailed before I started to teach, but the one about being married applied to your grandmother, very definitely.
What was that rule that if you were married as
You
a
were
woman, you had to leave the
You had to
profession?
leave teaching, right?
And that changed during the
Well,
war?
during the war. Dick was a night fighter pilot in the Navy, and I don't know whether flying up there all by himself put the idea into his head. He thought about a Christmas tree farm. Everybody said, oh, you bought a rock pile, you know. But his idea was you plant the trees and build up the soil. The people accept things that we never would have before, like speech, like clothes, like beards. I don't want everybody to know, like Twitter and Face and all. You know, why should everybody know? And why should you go to the grocery store with your phone up, pasted up against your cheek? What kind of key should I get? I mean, when they're just talking to somebody, you know, it doesn't, people don't relate to each other. That's the bad thing. And all these things on Twitter, how can you interpret them? You know, I mean, you talk to somebody and you can say, but I mean, you know, it isn't the way it sounds. But on Twitter, it's
Oh yeah, it sounds always as bad as possible.
Yeah, and you don't have an interpretation.
Yeah.
We held up the country in higher regard. You didn't think of not standing up for the national anthem. We'd never think of stepping on the flag. And religion, we went to church every Sunday. I'm glad I'm not rearing a child to hear the acceptance of the things that come out of Donald Trump's mouth and then try to treat your child that that's not the way we speak. That isn't acceptable. And I have faith in the American way, the American culture, that they'll come back. This is not something that's, I can't see that we'd fritter it away completely.